Alright guys, welcome back to Antlered Pursuit TV. This is day one of my 2019 shed hunting video. We are in Pennsylvania looking for white-tailed deer sheds. Hopefully we can find some. If not, we can maybe find some deer sign or even get some nice footage of whitetails. There's a lot of them out in this property. You can't hunt this property, unfortunately, but there is sure as heck a lot of deer, and there's some nice bucks. So our chances of finding a shed are way up there. However, there's lots of hikers and stuff, so lots of hikers come here to look for some as well. But that being said, there will soon be a few more of these videos, hopefully 4 or 5 in this series. So if you guys do like this, go ahead and make sure you subscribe and put that little bell off to the right, I guess it would be. Click that thing and you can get notified every single time I make a shedding hunting video or, you know, antler pursuit video. But stay tuned. We'll see what we can do. So if you guys are shed hunting for the first time, something I would recommend is do not go in the middle of the day. One reason being is the sun is absolutely killer. I would recommend going in the morning or in the afternoon. If you are out here in the middle of the day, that sun will shine right on top of those leaves and on top of those antlers, and the reflections are going to be very, very close. Now I timed this pretty bad. However, the other secondary spot I have to go to through this walk that I'm going to right now is going to be more toned down with the contrast shining into the leaves and stuff. There are going to be different tones, and that's the most important part. Go on an overcast day or go in the morning or evening. That's what I would recommend. So we're just going to go ahead and look around this bedding area. First off, in the second spot, we're going to go look at a feeding area. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Okay. The first thing that I found is going to be scalpel bone, I guess it would be. But when I saw this and then I looked around, because a lot of times when you find these things, you'll find another part of the animal that's dead. And then I looked over here and I found a skull. As you guys can see, this is a mature doe. You can't see any horns right on top here. But this is the first deer that I found that is dead. With this being the first sign, I'm not going to keep this. I don't keep skulls. We're just going to go ahead and put that back where it belongs. But that is a good find, and that is skull number 1. There's plenty of skulls out here due to the count of deer, the amount of deer, and the lack of food. So a lot of times you'll find deer that pass away due to lack of nutrition that they can get in from the property. But unfortunately that's the case, and unfortunately the deer population is really, really high. So we might find a couple more of those, so we'll see. Alright guys, this is the second dead deer I found, and again this is a small deer, so chances are, wow. As you can see, it's a very small deer. Probably a yearling from this year. I mean, obviously it's from this year, but it's probably only about 45 pounds. It's a very small deer. It is not a buck, I checked, but you can see the foxes and raccoons and stuff, or skunks or whatever is eating off of this, has already started to decay it. It's probably only about 2 weeks old, so I'm thinking it's from this past week that we had really, really cold temperatures, and unfortunately that is 1 and 2 deer that I found. Man, that's the worst thing for a hunter to see, so many deer that die. You know, it's just not very good. And the third dead deer I found. You can actually see that this one is not necessarily a body. It's more or less the animal's skin. Got a few legs here, unfortunately, but this one was probably taken by a coyote or a fox. So it's like the body's gone, except for a few legs, and you just got the skin. So that's the third doe, or, well, young deer that I found that was dead. This is gonna sound crazy, but I literally just found my 4th dead deer. It is right to the left-hand side of my head. all those bones I would say are from a youngish deer. The teeth are still here, right here, and I would say all the teeth are still there. So I don't know if that was a young deer. The skull looks the jaw looks kind of big, but it's interesting though because the jaw bones are there, but the head's not. So maybe somebody took the head, and maybe there were horns on the head. I don't. You'll never know. But some people just collect the heads. But in Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken, you cannot keep dead heads that are connected to the body or something like that. So I'm not 100% sure what the rule is. I don't keep them anyways if I do find them. But to know that there's 4 dead deer in this property is kind of sad. And that's not actually all of them ones I've seen. I saw one other smaller deer. It was just a skull. And all the vertebrae, we got a hip bone, and up here we got a couple more bones. There's a joint, there's a scapula, and there's another bone right there. Kind of sucks, right? I hope that doesn't happen to your property, but to this property there is quite a few dead deer. Oh, thorns. But we'll keep looking for sheds. So far I didn't find anything. Like I said, there is a decent amount of people that come through here and looking around for sheds, so it's kind of difficult to find them sometimes. I found an area where there were deer, but I didn't see any bucks. So I mean, there could have been doe, but they ran away, so I don't really know. But there was definitely a bedding area back there, which is the place you want to hunt. And I didn't really find anything. But this next spot that I'm going to is the #1 populated area for deer, and that is another feeding spot where they feed and stuff like that, and bed. Okay, and another one. This is yet another doe, no horns, but this is a really old shed. It's really bleached from the sun. There are some teeth missing. Now that is not from scavengers and stuff that probably just corroded and fell out. Like I could just pop the teeth out right now. So it is slightly old. The skull is very white, like I said, so it's been here a while. And that thing was literally just tucked up underneath that tree limb. I circled around, I saw it, and I set up the camera and found it. But another skull, another deer dead on the list. How is that, like number 6 or something like that? So we're gonna go ahead and put this back where we found it. I don't really, like I said, I don't know if you're supposed to keep these, but yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this back where I found it. So. I just found the mother lode of a buck. Check this thing out. I'm gonna use my zoom camera. It is a giant 9-point. The 9th point is kind of small, but there's about 10 deer right in front of me. This is crazy. Check this thing out. Alright guys, that's going to conclude today's episode of Antlered Pursuit TV. We saw about 20 or 30 different deer. We saw 3 buck, one was a half rack, one was a big 9-point. However, we did not find any sheds. This is the first time we've been out, actually second time I've been out. The first time my camera got messed up with the recording device, it kind of sucked. But another thing we did notice, we did find 6 dead heads, or dead skulls or bodies today, which is a kind of a sad part of deer hunting. And if you guys do have that happen to you, let me know, because this is kind of something that we need to work on as a community. Not necessarily me going to your property, but maybe tips on how to help a deer herd in your area that you hunt or area that you manage. by food or by harvesting animals that are sick. And for this episode, I'm going to show my new beanie. This is like a green color of my beanie, has my Antlered Pursuit logo on it. If you guys do want to buy that, as well as a sweatshirt that I was wearing today, it's going to be in the link in the description. It's something that will support me, help me travel and get to those places of providing videos for you guys. And until next time, guys, find your dreams, hunt your pursuit, and chase that sucker with everything you've got. Have a good one, friends.